Hi everyone. So I'm thanking everybody for the support for liking the little dust caddy I made. It was actually an inspiration I found on Pinterest that used cans, but I figured I had jars laying around, so that's what I used. And I'm sorry I'm sick, so my voice sounds really strange and gargly. But a lot of you have been asking how I made this. So what I did, I'm in Canada. So I went to Canadian Tire and I bought this Lazy Susan. It's wood. And it was $13.99 at the Canadian Tire at home here in Spruce Grove. And what I did was I painted it, and I just used some paint that I had at home. So this is what I use. I got it on clearance at Michael's for, I think it was like $7.99, and I used it for some of my signs that I was making for myself. And it's Americana Decor Chalky Finish. So I use this actually on the base. And then for the jars, all I did was I actually painted it with this. So I did 3 coats, and I let them dry for probably a good, I'm gonna say like 6 or more hours between coats. And all I did to make the jars distressed, a lot of people were asking me how I did that, is I used sandpaper, and to get it really cheap, I went to the Dollar Tree, and they have this pack, and it has just a ton of sandpaper chunks in it. I think I paid like $1.25 for it. And I tried using like the 240s and the 150s, and they actually clogged up a bit. So I think if you use a light hand and you use like an 80 grit, I think it'll work out a lot better. But so I just ran it like up and down and side to side, and I just distressed it how I thought it would look nice. You can see more on the ones I just used the lace on. I made sure to run it over the top so that it really looked kind of distressed. I really liked how they turned out. I didn't seal it, but honestly, I think if you wanted to seal it, you could just use Mod Podge. I'm not a super crafter by means. I'm just kind of getting back into crafting, but you could probably use Mod Podge. And what I did use this for on this project was to adhere the lace. So all I did was I bought a round lace tablecloth at Walmart, my local Walmart. It was like $5. And I found a section of it that I liked. I coated this whole base in a nice coat of Mod Podge, and I pressed it down, and then I cut everything long going around the sides off. When this was there's probably an easier way to do this, but this is just the way I did it. And then when this was shorter, it was easier to work with. I just went around and trimmed it so it looked kind of half decent. You can probably wrapping it down around the bottom might look a little better, but I don't really notice it. So then I took the Mod Podge, I downside it. It wasn't really sticking as well as it was to the top, so I went over top of it with a decently thick layer and pressed it on like that, and I found it stuck a lot better. And it was, this stuff's pretty great because it's easier to deal with than glue, I found. A lot of you probably know that. And then what I did for the jars is I just went to Michael's. We just had a really good sale on like scrapbook supplies and all that. There was like $7 for a giant book of cardstock for like normally $30, and they had some sales on ribbon. So this is the ribbon that I bought to put around some of them, and I'm glad I bought it because it actually went really nice with the paint. And then I had some leftover lace from my wedding, and I did every other jar with a nice lace. I like the way it turned out. I mean, the lace, I know it's really light and it's hard to see, but it just makes it really subtle. So then all I did was just glue it at the back of the jar, the seams at the back of the jar, and I just did a line with the hot glue gun, stuck one on, brought it around, and did another line of hot glue and stuck them together. I know it's pretty basic. In the middle, I do have, like right in here, that these are in, I have like a plastic tube that I did glue the first jar to so that they would stand up a little better on top. But I kind of just put these on the board and arranged them how I thought it looked nice. Was a nice size circle, and I didn't want them really touching each other too much so that they're kind of wonky. So I glued the bottom lip on the jar and just stuck them down. And then when it came to the top, I found that tube that I put these in, and I put it like right in the very center of the board. And then to put these down, I actually marked them with pencil. I'm sick, so my brain's not functioning too great right now, but I'm just going to show you. You probably know what I mean. I just took a pencil and I marked it like this on all sides that it touched, and I lifted it up and I put the glue on the top of the jar and then put the jar on top. And I didn't find that you really had to glue them together too much, except where they're only maybe catching like this one here. You can see this one is only touching one jar. So I put a dab of glue right tight in here so that they were sturdy. And on here, I did that with two of them so that it just made them a little sturdier. And all that jiggling, that's just from the Lazy Susan. It's actually really sturdy. And then what I did for these, and some of them are coming up, I didn't really glue them down because they're self-adhering. I might have to go back with some glue. But I bought these at the dollar store. And they're adhesive pearl strips. I had them from a long time ago. I made some Christmas ornaments. And they stick down nice. You probably might want to use a little extra glue. I'm not sure, maybe some super glue or something to help those stay down, because I think I'm gonna have to go back and re-glue some of them. But that's pretty much all I did. And when I painted this surface, this is all I used, and I sanded it just to get it kind of smooth. After I just put one coat, because I mean, if you're covering it with lace, you really don't notice it. And honestly, where it is sanded off a little lighter, it's kind of looks alright. Like, it looks kind of worn like the jars. And my husband's gonna come in here and make fun of me now. And when I was painting the jars, I didn't do anything special. You're shaking the camera. I didn't do anything special. I just used a brush like this, and I tried not to apply the paint too thick. That's why I did 3 layers. And then all the cardstock that I bought on sale at Michael's, I just printed off. I found some flowers that I thought I liked. There was one on there that had like a whole bunch of roses on a leaf backing. You might know what I'm talking about if you look at the flowers on there quite a bit, but it had a whole bunch of different, well, it probably had about 3 different sizes of flowers, and I just printed them off on the Cricut, and I wrapped them all up, and it was my first time doing flowers. And what I found, if you want to do flowers and you've never done them before and you don't have the quilling tool that Cricut has, if you don't want to go out and buy the whole set but you have the Cricut tools, I use the reverse tweezers, because I found that they held it just right. But yeah, there's lots of tutorials for the 3D flowers on YouTube. I am by no means super awesome, but it does hold. I even have one empty spot. So I'll be probably filling that soon. So I'm sorry if this wasn't that great a video. I've never put a video on Facebook before, or made a video for that matter. So for those of you that were wondering how I did this, I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, just send me a message and maybe I can try help you. They're really fun and they're really cute. And I know I already have a friend that wants to come over and get me to help her make one. I love doing it. It was so fun. It's so cute. And it's such a pretty way to organize your desk. So everybody, thank you everybody for your support. And I love seeing all the projects you post. See you later, guys. Love you.